Hey, it's Hadz, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be about cats. I have been drawing cats a lot lately and it gained a lot of attention on my Twitter account. And I got asked multiple times about the style and how I paint them. So this video will be in more depth about the process than the post I made a while ago. So without any further ado, let's just jump straight to it. And I would like to call this a cat portrait. Let me first quickly talk about the brush I use. I personally like rough texture brushes. I really like this one, and I will put the downloading link down below. You can also see my setup, and I have kept the color window open so you can see the color selections. I will start with a very simple sketch. It's more for grounding myself in a specific area in the canvas, and I try to capture the big shapes. However, if you are one who likes to do detailed sketches, just feel free to start the way you are comfortable with. I just like to build things slowly as I go. Now I will start the coloring. I chose a dark color. It can be either purple or blue hue. Just make sure to not start with pure black. We will save the black for later to add dimensions and shadows. And this is mainly the trick when painting black cats. Same goes with the color white as well. Both colors or values are at the edge of the scale. So when we choose them as our main color, we really won't be able to add dimensions with something dark or light, and we will end up using values that are not suitable, which may create a muddy look for our art. So keep in mind, something dark but not black, and something light but not white. I'm doing a random block with colors, and I'm choosing them based on what my eyes can see. For example, the white fur here appears more of a cream or a beige color. We basically paint what we see, so when we train our eyes to see things, we will be able to even notice those slight changes in the light and the shadows, and we will be able to draw them or even manipulate them and change them. Another thing to keep in mind is when something is showing very bright between darks, it doesn't necessarily mean it possesses a very light value. For example, you can see the eye color here. It's gonna fool me into choosing a value that is extremely bright, when in fact I can still achieve the lightness with a mid value. I think this is the concept behind my coloring because I got asked what my coloring style is called. And it's not really a style rather than me just choosing values as close as possible to the reference, so the art appears realistic even when it's done in a sketchy way. Of course, the eyes are not just one value, and there is certainly brighter areas in it, but the idea is that it's not the whole eye. I try to pay attention to the light and shadow areas, although it might not be that visible, and it can definitely be hard at first for beginners to see, but with practice you will be able to see it. Sometimes you will need to use your hunch to decide that some areas needs to be darker than the others. Of course, at some point in your painting you will reach a stage where the art will look anything but the thing you are actually drawing. But just keep going and trust the process. I like having my canvas small, even smaller than this, so I can focus on the big shapes and the proportions. And recently, I started having the reference in a small size as well. I think it helps to focus on the bigger picture and other details. And that's really what I'm trying to train myself on, seeing the whole big shapes and simplifying it. Then when I reach a good base, I will start on those details. I really don't use a lot of blending. Like I said, I prefer a more sketchy or rough look for my art. And even if I do use blending tool, I will use it with a textured brush. I do use some blending though on the nose just to make it softer. Here I am fixing the proportions a bit with the liquefying tool to get it just more accurate. You can experiment with different brushes. You don't have to use only one brush. Like you can use a hairbrush to make the first stand out even more, or you can just group it into big shapes. I started with the details here, and as you can see, although the color is dark, you are able to see more contrast with even darker areas within. And since I also saved up white, I was able to use it as a highlight and create planes and roundness around the mouth area. You can also notice there is faintly light areas in the reference, and I tried to enhance it even more in the painting. And basically this is the whole painting process. I add colors and values and I fix it until I reach a result that I'm satisfied with. There's really nothing much to say at this point, so I will disappear and I will let you guys enjoy the rest of the process.